Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Here at the Fisherman's Guild, where we start the Heavensward quests. Sisyphus has a rod in her hand and a cloud on her brow. Well, if this is my old friend Serenia, not a minute too soon. Not that I don't appreciate your company or anything, but I need you to go and deliver something for me right away. Babalagos had a visitor, you see? Not only did the poor fellow have to put up with our dear guild master blabbering on about who knows what for hours on end, but he left his rod behind as well. Would you mind taking it back to him? It was just the rod that was at stake. I'd get that lazy guild master of ours to take it back himself, but this fellow's a master fisherman who traveled to every corner of the world. According to Vavalago, he knows all about the secret fishing spots that are not on any of our charts. Hence why you're the woman for the job. Not only can you be trusted to get his precious pole back to him in one piece, but you can have a chat with this chap and learn something useful in the bargain. It wouldn't do for our guild's angling ace to fall behind on her studies. Mayhap he'll tell you about some far-flung fishing holes that even the famous Vavalago never heard of, and you'll be able to test your mettle against a whole new kettle of fish. The fisherman you're looking for is an elegant fellow called Anselme. He's staying at the Drowning Wench. If you hurry, you should be able to catch him before he heads off on his travels again. Well, it's time I was on my way. Another pint of butter and speculia, and I'm like to fall asleep in the snow. Oh, hello, Em. Is there aught I can assist you with? Goodness, is that my rod? I left it at the Fisherman's Guild, you say? Dear me. I was having so much fun catching up with my old friend Ravalago, but I forgot all about my most faithful companion. I thank you for coming out of your way to return it to me. Are you a member of the guild then? I don't recall seeing your face down in Fisherman's Bottom. You are? Good show, lass. It's always a pleasure to speak with a fellow fish fancier. So tell me, what's been your biggest catch so far? You caught a Maslaya Marlin? Hold on, you're not Serenia, are you? The girl who lifted the fishing ban and saved the guild? Vavalago told me all about you, and in the most glowing terms. It's a pleasure to have met you, Serenia. I wish I could stick around and chat, but it's past time I head home to Ishgard. If you're ever in the area, you must come and visit me and tell me all about your adventures in angling. Like as not, you find me in the Forgotten Knight. You could say he's the Drowning Wench's long-lost lover. Drop in whenever you like, and I'll give you a guided tour of some of my homestead's best spots to drop a lure. Till then, Serenia. Okay, off to Ishgard then. Serenia, you came. A warm welcome to Ishgard. Well, as warm as it gets up here anyway. So, are you ready to learn all about my favorite fishing holes? It'll soon be the end of the stormy season in Kurthas, so we'll be able to fish to our heart's content without being frozen solid. Come back in a little while and I'll show you some of the perfect places to catch the finest fish in the north. And as that is dependent on my level, let's just continue on with a level 53 quest. Good to see you, Serenia. I've got some news for you that I think you're going to like. Have you ever heard of a fish called ice pick? Not only do they have a kick like a Mylodon and wits to give any fisherman a challenge, but cut them into gudgeons and fry them till they're golden, and they're just the thing to take away the taste of Brilliant's best brown. Well, a shoal of her beauties has been sighted in a fishing hole I know in the western highlands of Kurthas. Let's head over there, shall we? I'll meet you by the northern entrance to Falcon's Nest. Ah, Serenia, you're finally here. I was afraid that I'd missed you, to tell the truth. This young lady and I just returned from the fishing hole. I'll explain in a second, but first allow me to introduce you. Serenia, meet Raina, a fellow fishing enthusiast. We've only just met ourselves. She was just passing by when I spotted the rod strapped to her back and introduced myself. Raina has heard of the ice pig sightings too, and well, after a bit of mutual rod rattling, we decided to have a little competition. I'm sorry we didn't wait for you, but you know how hot-headed we fishers can be. Of course, I wish I had waited now. By the time I managed to catch my first decent-sized ice pig, she already has a brass in the net. How embarrassing for you, and in your own stampeding ground too. Why, I'd never been to that fishing hole before in my life. Yet the fish were practically throwing themselves out of the water for me. Kick me while I'm down, why don't you? I demand vengeance, Serenia. And who better to deliver it than the Lady Master Valago called the absolute apex of the angling arts? The absolute apex of the what now? The apex of the angling art. The perfect Pisatrix. The finest fisherwoman in the firmament. He was talking about you, Serenia. If there's anyone who can wipe that smirk of Raina's face, you can. The pond where you'll find the fish is off to the north. Cross the bridge and keep going until you reach the Gogania holding. You should find it easily enough. It's only a stretch of liquid water in Marms. Raina caught 2 high-quality ice pigs, so you're going to have to catch 3. Which I actually have done, yeah, where is it? Gogania holding is actually... Isn't that actually quite here or something? Somewhere here? I think there was that hole. Anyway, I already caught these fish, so I just turn them in, okay? The fishing hole... Just head north from... Across the island, you'll be there. Raina caught 2. Where is it? Here. Your ice pigs. 3 ice pigs and everyone's a beauty. How do you like that, Raina? Who's laughing now? What? I can't believe you beat my record. Alright, I admit it. You're a better fisherwoman than me. And twice as good as Anselm. I may have lost the contest, but it's been wonderful to meet you both. I thought I was the only one who spent her days traveling the realm, taking on what jobs I can to fuel my fishing habit. But now I know there's at least 2 more Epicureans in the world. So a real angling addict, are you, Raina? No doubt you could tell us some tales that would set our fish fencing hearts aflutter. Oh, of course. It's the least I can do. The winner of a competition should have a reward after all. Now, I don't know if there's any truth to this tale, but there's a certain story doing the rounds in Dervania that you might find interesting. Not so very long ago, there was a chocobo hunter who found a wounded fish on the shores of a sea of clouds. It was a Moogle spirit, known to fishermen the realm over as the Manta of the Skies. A hook was through its lip, an unattended rod lying at its side. The hunter took up the rock and freed the fish, but as soon as he did so, the spirit scooped him in its fin and swept him away to an island above the clouds. Not knowing where he was and how to get home, he dropped the line into the cloud while he awaited rescue. Within moments, there was a jerk on the line and he pulled up a strange fish covered in spines. A few more minutes of fishing and he had enough of the things to spell out help in Cloudkin. His message was spotted by a passing airship and the fellow was saved. Well, what do you think? The chocobo hunters tell it to their children as a bedtime story, but I've got a funny feeling there's more to it than that. But anyway, I can't stand around chatting while there's work to be done. If that story tickled you, why don't you go and have a look around the Sea of Clouds? If you're lucky, you might catch a few of these helpful fish yourself. Bye! These strange fish with chocobo hunter pulled from the clouds. I think I might have an idea what were there. The Ishgardian nobility used to harvest them for their poison, so much so that they drove them to extinction, or so I thought until now. Here, Serenia, take some of these. The noblemen used to bait their hooks with these red balloons to catch those fish. If the creature really are still around, chances are their tastes haven't changed. Balloon bugs spend their lives in the skies, but they make their nest in the earth. If you should need more of them, a friendly botanist or miner should be able to dig some out of for you. But anyway, thanks for today. You really saved my skin. If Wayne had won that contest, I don't think I ever would have lived it down. I'm heading back to the Knights to celebrate. See you again soon, Serenia. And there we learned cloud fishing. I believe we had before we had sky fishing. Now we can learn cloud fishing. All that is inferior to my current equipment. So let's return to the man at the bar. Okay. Invasion of the supper snatchers. Good day to you, Serenia. You're just the person I wanted to see. I'm sorry for forcing this on you without any warning, but could I ask a favor of you? Remember that girl, Raina? The one who you beat in the fishing contest? Well, she sent me a message saying she needs an experienced angler to come and fish out of a spot of hot water. She's been trying her hand at a little chocobo hunting over in Dravania. She didn't go into details, but it seems some problems cropped up that only a master fisherman can solve. I'd go and lend her a hand myself, but I've got some business of my own to attend to that's going to keep me in the city for the foreseeable future. Sorry to drop it in your lap like this, but would you mind heading over in my place and see what's going on? The chocobo hunters work out of an outpost in the Dravanian Forelands. Tailfeather they call it. Thanks for taking care of this for me, Serenia. Pass on my best wishes to Raina, won't you? And off to Tailfeather. Finally, you made it. Thanks for coming, Serenia. Hold on, where's Onsom? Isn't he with you? Didn't think he was up to the challenge, huh? Well, at least had the good sense to send along a suitable replacement. You're thrice the fisherman that great Galoot is, and it's angling talent I need to get us out of this mess. For the past few years, I've been coming here to Tailfeather for the start of the hunting season. It's dangerous work, but it has its rewards. Why, just a couple weeks of chocobo hunting can keep a girl in balloon bugs for the rest of the year. And after a long day's hard work, there's nothing I like better than to head to the riverbanks and catch a few carp for the hunter's supper. The problem is, someone let a school of carnivorous catfish loose in the rivers, and they're running a riot. At this rate, they'll have gobbled up every fish in the river before the season's out. I've convinced the hunters to try to catch these monsters before it's too late, but they have no luck so far. No surprise really, half of them don't even know which bit of a tackle to throw in the water. That's where you come in. I need you to help me catch a few of those whiskery invaders and show those hunters how it's done. What do you say, Serenia? If my master plan works, it's not only the future of our fish suppers that'll be saved for posterity, but the chocobo hunt itself. After all, you can't catch chocobos on an empty stomach. Isn't that right, Stanny boy? Looks like Stanny's away with the fairies again. I'd better stay here and keep an eye on him. We wouldn't want him doddering off into the Wylum and giving those nasty catfish something meatier to wrap their teeth around. Do you think you could put my plan into practice yourself? The hunters I sent to catch the catfish should still be upstream somewhere. Just follow the river north and you're sure to bump into them sooner or later. They might not have caught any of these pesky pescatarians yet, but like as not, they'll know where to find them. Yeah, the merchant is what I wanted, right? Stonefly nymphs. I get 20. I believe I needed those for the catfish. Where are you running? And why are you running? Well, I'll be, if it ain't that fisher Rainer's been going on about. The absolute apex of angling or what have you. If you had as good as he claims, we'll have these horrors sorted out in no time flat. These shadow whiskers are eating us out of house and home, and they ain't native to this area, see? Some lunkhead hunter decided to bring them in special when no one was looking and set them free in the river. And do you know why he did it? To make the chocobos think twice about crossing the river, so the lazy bugger didn't have to hunt so far. As if some fish is going to scare a 10-foam racing bird. The shadow whiskers have put the fear of gods into all other river dwellers though. The fish what have been here all along just ain't quick enough to escape them, so the monsters are having a field day, proper gorging themselves like. We've tried all we can to fish them out, but the slippery beggars won't take the bait. They head downriver to hunt, but most of them are holed up around here, in the basin of 100 throws. It's the big ones and the best nick that are most trouble. If you could show us how to go about catching them, we'll take care of the rest. I reckon three ones should enough to teach us the knack. The fish themselves you can give to Raina. I'm sure she finds time use for them. Okay. That said, I believe we need the stonefly nymphs. Okay. Thanks to patience and the hook sets, that was doable. Otherwise, that could have been nasty. Because you have to mooch the shadow whiskers and then get them high quality, which is pretty hard actually. How's the shadow whisker hunting going? It'll take every trick in the book to lift Veers monsters out of the water, but you know the book backwards, right? Okay. Wow, you did it! I knew I could count on you. The chocobo hunters saw everything, did they? The lure shows, how you set your line, the flick of a wrist that set the hook? Excellent. Now that we've seen how it's done, you can leave the rest to us. We'll have a Rylom back to its good old self in no time. One good turn deserves another, but I'm exhausted my supply of fascinating fishing stories. How about you, Stanny boy? Any exciting tales of angling and adventure to tell our friend Serenia? I got a story for you. Long ago, when me granddad's granddad was but a boy, he met with his traveling trader who'd come over from the Far East to flock his wares. Among this merchant's stock was a bucket of wriggling red worms that seemed to glow with heat. Naturally, the boy asked him what they were all about. "Them's magma worms, my son," the merchant said, "or some such Far Eastern pattern as make no difference. Back where I come from, the fisherfolk use them as bait. Hook them to a steel line and drop them in a volcano, and you pull up fish the like of which you've never seen." "'Cause," he said, "it's a dangerous game, fishing in a pool of molten rock. One false move and you're coming up crispy. Still, there's many back in the East who risk life and limb to make it their business. We call 'em the famous hellfishers, or so my great-great-granddad was told." "What are stories then? Could there really be fish that live in lava? If there are, I want to catch one." "It sounds like we need some of those magma worms, though, and I can't say I've ever heard of them. Maybe Anselmo would have an idea where to get a hold of them. He's traveled all over the world, right?" Let's ask the man. "Welcome back, Zerenium. Judging from that satisfied smile on your face, I'd say you managed to solve Rayna's little problem. I knew you could do it. You have something to ask of me? By all means, fire away." Red glowing worms. You're not going to believe this, but I've got a few of these magma worms of yours right here in my pocket. A pair of adventurers were in here earlier, a botanist and a miner selling their diggings. I bought a few wigglers of them that fit that description. I thought they might make decent fishing bait, but it seemed they're not cut out for the cold. As soon as I hit the water, they turned hard as work. Perhaps they'd fare better in the heat. Here, consider them your reward for taking care of that business with Rayna for me. If you're thinking of trying your hand at this hell fishing game, Dravanio's your best bet. There's a string of volcanoes in the forelands up where the dragons dwell. Just promise me you won't go getting yourself killed, alright? You've now acquired the skill of hell fishing. Cast a line into lava and see if anything bites.